All right, welcome to this presentation. Today I'm going to go over the redesign of the Louver Penthouse roof. All right, so I'm going to go over the pitfalls of the current roof design and some of the new design features. And I'm going to touch on sheet metal design, the factory process overview of making these products, and the on-site construction methods. All right, so this is the Penthouse Louver with the roof assembled on it. So this is a product that's made of four sides. It covers an air intake, which would be like a hole on the roof of a flat roof. So there are four louvers on each side. And there is a roof to stop any sort of snow or rain or precipitation from getting inside the air intake or exhaust. Our current roof design is hard to fabricate and it's hard to assemble on site. And we want to fix that. Why is it hard to fabricate and why is it hard to assemble on site? Well, let's go take a look into some of the features of the current design that makes it difficult to make. All right, so it's made of three components. It has a beginning section, a middle section that is made up of two components, and this section repeats for however long the Louver Penthouse is. So the two sections are the stiffener leg right there and the roof section right there. And then we have a end section, which is also made of two components. All right, and the whole thing is fastened together with hex bolts and nuts. So one of the biggest problems is we can't actually make the roof as it is designed. We just don't have the tooling. So the current design has this curl in it that slips over top of the stiffener leg and the folded up portion of the roof section right there. And then the whole thing is bolted together. All right, but what happens is we typically underbend the product, so it's coming down on an angle. And this radius in here is not large enough to accept the stiffener leg and the roof section that is supposed to slip into that crease. All right, and so we see a mismatch in of the roof sections right here, and we see that we don't have a lot of material to bolt from either, so it's hard to actually put this together on site. And that has caused, just extra time for construction workers, as well as leaking of the product as well from that, snow or that rain. So we want to fix that for sure. Another aspect of this product, especially the middle sections that have this stiffener leg and the roof section. So it's actually made of two components that are then welded together. The roof section is made on the laser, and the stiffener leg is made on the hydraulic foot shear. All right, and so we have to coordinate these two processes because they are independent of one another. We have to coordinate them and their schedules and then get all those parts to come together to then go to the CNC forming operation, which is somewhat challenging to do because you might be waiting on the laser or you might be waiting on the manually sheared parts in order to form them. All right, so that can cost a lot of time and make delays. And also the cost of just coordinating those parts increases as well. And then we have a welding process, which is only necessary because we need to make the roof stiff. All right. And from this design, that is the only way to do it. So you have to connect these two components together. All right. So one of the third annoyance of this is that the hardware is overly complicated for this product. It requires a bolt, a washer, and a nut. All right. And, we have to count out all of these manually. So we have to count out 3 separate pieces of hardware, make sure that our counts are the same. And it is just, quite complicated to do that because we don't have any equipment that, counts our hardware. All right. And then on site, or from a operator error at the factory, inevitably, some of the hardware is missing. And so people spend a lot of time looking around for hardware that, never existed in the first place, or they think they dropped. All right. And so finally, the last one is that each hole requires drilling. So we have to drill through the work, through the curled section of the roof, and then we have to install this bolted hardware. It is quite a process. All right, so we aim to improve on these things in this new design, and so we'll show you how we did it. Okay, so it's still composed of 3 sections. We have a beginning, a middle section that repeats, and a end section. But the one thing that you will notice is that there's no longer any stiffener legs. Instead of a stiffener leg, we have curled both sides with bends that are attainable with our factory processes. So we have this section, which is new. And another thing that's changed is this height right here has been increased about an inch. All right, so about an inch higher. So we've changed the kind of the look of it a little bit, but it made it incredibly easier to fabricate. So let's go into the details of the features. Right, we no longer get this misalignment anymore at all, because we have gotten rid of this curled feature right here, and we've replaced it with a U section. So the smaller U fits underneath the bigger U of the previous roof section. So it's really easy to put on. And then fastened, and you can see that our fastener has changed, and I'm going to go into that in a little bit more detail. So we get better sealing, we get the same stiffness without that stiffener leg, and we get a nice alignment of the roofs here. So those match up almost exactly. All right. And another beautiful thing about this product, this new product, is that it no longer requires, a part made on a laser and a part made on a shear. We only use the laser now. All right. There is no more shear. So we do not need to coordinate these two components coming together and being broken on a CNC brake. All right, so that makes it easier. And the one thing that I like is that we've gotten rid of welding. So there's no longer any welding required, which means our welders can concentrate on our bread and butter product, which is the louver. All right, so we can continue without interruptions on our regular product, and these roofs just no longer need to go to our welders, which is excellent. All right. One thing that we needed to address here, and it was a good thing that we analyzed this. And I really recommend it for any product that you're going to be making, is put your flat sheet or your flat product onto a sheet of your standard material. So here we have a 48 by 96 inch sheet shown in blue. And we've nested the part, and if we use the original 18 inches of the previous design, we're getting a product that is 26 inches wide. All right. So that means we're going to have, over 50% scrap. If we don't change this design, and that can make you extremely unprofitable. All right, so what we did was we reduced this section, the repeating roof section, from 18 to 15 inches. All right, and we nested that on a 48 by 96 inch sheet, and we determined that we are under the halfway mark here, where it's around 23 inches. And so we can fit 2 of these products on a single sheet. And depending on the length of the product, we are going to get, under 50% scrap. For this product. And so this was a huge thing to recognize, and makes this really, if we hadn't done this analysis, we wouldn't have been able to go forward with this design. All right, so that's good. And then finally, we got rid of that bolted hardware, which is extremely beneficial, because now we can count just one single set of hardware for the product. There'll be less manual errors because we're doing less counting. It takes less time to package that hardware together. And it's significantly easier to screw this in on site. And we've improved it tremendously, because we now have locating holes. All right, so we've also added this into the product, so we have a hole located wherever a screw is needed. All right, so the screw will go through this hole and into the next repeated roof section. So, it'll go into this material right here of the next section. So that's a really nice feature, and we've spoken to some of our customers, and they're really excited about this feature as well. All right, so if we do the cost analysis, the old design and the new design are comparable in price. All right, so there's no really any savings there, and that's because we need the roof to be the same stiffness. So, but we were able to achieve that stiffness, which is really good. There is no change in price in the laser cost, but we have $0 for shearing now, so we don't need to shear the product, which is excellent. Breaking the product costs a little bit more, all right, because there is a couple more bends required for the new design. All right, but we kind of make that back because there is no welding. All right, and so we don't even need to interrupt our welders anymore, so they can continue being productive, making our bread and butter product, which is the louver. All right, and then overall we see a slight reduction in cost, which is good to see. We wouldn't really want to go ahead with a more expensive product. We want to keep that cost down. So overall, we have on this analysis of a of a penthouse roof that requires 3 middle sections and 2 end sections, we save about $11 in production costs. All right, so overall, we have really touched on 3 successful things. We have a product that costs less to make, right? We have a product that has less delays in fabrication, and we have a product that is well made, well designed for our sheet metal fabrication processes, and it goes together well on site with the improvement of the U shape of the interlocking roof members as well as the hardware. So I hope you learned how you can, reimagine your sheet metal designs and say and sort of think, how can I make this product the same or perform the same or better with just changing the shape of the sheet metal. So that is always a good thing to go through, and it was a successful design process for this product. Thank you for watching.